Ladies, oh, wait, we have to wait for it. Ladies and gents, welcome. And I don't have Mali Libby here with me. I know this is massive downgrade. Mr. Beastie, though, coming in
Damn.
hot. Hell yeah. What is that sunlight behind you? Are you
That's my
Hmm?
that's my radioactive fish.
I hear that they're all radioactive.
They
Is
got
it-
4 legs.
That's my favorite type of fish. Guys,
And they're supposed to have 0.
So I want to welcome everyone to the Unhinged cast. Beastie and I have the inability to be serious. We're gonna try our best, right? We're gonna try our best, right? Are we?
No, I can do professional casting.
You can?
I don't know about
Okay,
you.
okay. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Pretend we don't know each other. We're just thrown into this out of nowhere. Beastie, before we go, oh gosh, it's so weird calling you Beastie. Ugh. Before we go into the game, we're going to go into the game. We're not going to talk about the drafts. No draft talking here today. Not yet. We might get a little bit of time later. But first, let's hop into the game. The boys are ready, and they're ready to play it out. Puppypaw versus Wam. A game, a tale as old as time. And I'm seeing a lot of action here on the wood for Mr. Puppypaw. We're probably going to get a little bit more action here on the poor Golden Horde player.
Need to fix something for uno momento.
Don't worry,
I will
yeah.
message the yeah, go for it.
Okay. So as Beastie is fixing something for the uno momento, as we hear him saying, we are now getting a situation where the barracks is in session. So the barracks coming on out, and this feels absolutely wonderful as the Mongol player. You know Golden Horde is not going to contest this in the early stages of the game. Golden Horde, they just kind of have to take it. There's not much they get to do about it.
All right, I am back. So, we got Relic River, Mongol Golden Horde, a bit unexpected matchup. I haven't played it too much, but what I do know when I did play it, it felt pretty rough for Mongol. I'm gonna be honest. It felt pretty rough because Golden Horde can just produce so many units, and I felt like Mongol can't keep up. But that was on a land map. On this kind of map, I feel like if Mongol gets control of the water or maybe put some pressure, then Golden Horde might have a bit of a harder time, and we do see that villager moving out for that dock.
Now, a villager moving out. Oh, I see. He is going for the dock. It's like you smelled it. So, with the double spearman opening, I'm assuming you shut down what you need to shut down. Your villager goes for the dock, and you just get further and further ahead. Do you feel like you need to invest in the Dark Age a little bit more?
I mean, so Golden Horde doesn't really have an option, right? But with Mongol, the thing is, I feel like if you go for Spearman, I don't think it accomplishes much, because even if you burn down the Uwu, I'm not actually sure if it's necessarily worth it. But he did go for 2 Spearmen, and he will most likely produce another 2. So he's not going for a heavy committal, but he's going to start working that Uwu, which, I don't know, like I said, if it's going to be in time to actually kill it or not.
Beastie, what is the word you just used there? He's going. There we go. Okay.
Could you
yeah?
Could you double tap the obs, by the way, like full screen?
I know you keep thinking that's what I can do, but that is.
Yeah, there it is. It just happened.
Okay. I'm clicking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom. Perfect.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So guys, we do see those 2 spears working their way through the. Say that, Beastie.
I already did. Now it's your turn.
Oh my god, okay. They're working their way through the... And it's gonna be going down slowly. That's the problem. When you're up with 2 spears, you're not really doing this at the fast pace you want it to be. But building carts is coming out, and I'm loving this. A lot of players have been showing us a glimpse of the building carts, and it feels like that pace it gives you. It's just so good, but at the same time, does it outweigh the Khan and the Torguds in the early game? Or if you go for along the feudal?
Well, Khan and Torgud is not that good against civs that have knights, because they're basically like bad knights, so even though Kashyyyks are also bad knights, Torguds are a lot worse than Kashyyyks, so maybe that's the reason for it. Maybe he wants to put fast pressure on the dock, or maybe he just wants to get the archer range immediately set up so that he can defend the Ubu. But yeah, like I said, I don't think he's going to be able to kill it in time, which is why when I did play this matchup, I found that opening barracks is kind of useless against Golden Horde. So Yeah, I think Puppypaw's opener not gonna do much, but at least he has fishing, so that's something he has going for him, which is nice.
Now, Wham completely pulling off of the gold in the early game here just tells me we're not interested in anything economical. We want to shut this down. We want to shut it down now. But out on the deer, he needs the food, and we see the choices he makes today are going to be our barracks and archery range. But the spears, they go quite deep. They want to shut this down. A poor villager trying to repair desperately, but he does not get that repair off, and the spears will prevail in the end.
Wow. Okay, so he's gonna get that torch. A bit unfortunate with the spawn because his stone is not in the range to even repair it without taking without the villager dying. So I guess that will be going down, and we see Age Up with 5. We see Khan coming out, spearmen, archers, and I wonder what Puppypaw's plan from here is, because I think Wham's plan is make a lot of units and just kind of go for.
And making a lot of units, it seems like a perfectly sane play here, but the spearmen, they do need to back off. This is not going to be something you can just stand out here. You know, the archers, they're coming, and they're going to pick you up pretty quickly. But, oh, I love that double production. Just seeing 4 units pop out in no time feels pretty good when you're the one who needs to start doing that counter push. But we do see that stable being rushed up now. And with the stable, he's going to have access to those Keshiks. And, of course, Keshiks, and especially with the low spear numbers, they are going to be able to handle this pretty easily. But the target here is going to be the dock. And is this, I was going to ask, is it worth it investing into your junk to just secure the water? But Puppypaw, he already gave the answer here.
Yeah, I mean, what Wham is doing is just forcing the junk to come out, basically to, like, quote-unquote waste resources. I don't think Wham's going to commit to getting this dock down any further. It's probably going to wait for the junk to come out and then just move somewhere else, but that means you get free fishing for quite a long time, so I think it's still very much worth for Puppypaw. Oh, if he gets the villager, that's at least pretty nice. And he gets 3 spearmen. Villager's still alive, so the spearman count has been reset, basically. Gets the villager, but can't let it go down. Okay, dodges. Another one.
Perfect here by Wham, just making it look easy, actually. But the Khan would definitely have been a nice little pickup to have here. But the problem is now, Wham is all the way out here on the opposite stone.
Wait, okay, that's unhinged. Wait, what? Why didn't he just take his own? Maybe, I mean, maybe he wants to gather the stone out, but that's very optimistic, because it's, how do you reinforce this? Because you're going to be running through the archer ship now. I guess you can reinforce from the top, but it's a bit awkward situation. But we do see Puppypaw now transitioning to archer Keshik. He's going to stop the spearman production. We see some Torgoods coming. And like I said, it's going to be up to Puppypaw if he can hold this. But I think from here on out, the longer the game goes, the better it is for Golden Horde, because he basically has double Uvu right now going. And eventually he's going to get stockyards, and Mongol has a little bit worse eco, but of course he has the fishing ships.
The Khan is providing a nice little fire here with that archer going to pay the price. But now the problem is the reinforcements, like you said. The reinforcements are closer. They're just going to be able to reach and shut down here pretty quickly. Uwu, it does get to at least gather for a while. How long would the Uwu need to gather to already have paid off?
Well, I have no clue. I mean, I don't think it matters too much. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, this match is not going to be... Because he has 2 stones at the top, right? So it's not like this match is going to go where they run out of stone. I mean, now is to say that we're going to have a 1-hour game. I just don't think it's going to matter. And I think this is such an easy pick-off for Puppypaw that I'm a bit confused with why Wham did it. Maybe he did it because he wanted to, like, tower. We saw that he was going to plant tower on the... Puppypaw, but then he decided against it. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure what the plan there was, but that's a free bounty if I ever seen one.
They're playing 5D chess. We just need to catch up. Batukan definitely getting very low here and not able to heal up just yet. Poor guy is running around hoping for the best. But, of course, with all of these units, Puppypaw is in a pretty good spot to defend and now already capitalize on shutting down that Uwu. So, not looking too great. Gets himself a nice little bounty as well. Not going to feel like this was much of a waste.
Yeah, like I said, a bit confusing, but he is going to retake either the North Stone, it looks like. So he's going to get the double stone production coming in no time, but because he went for the golden cards age up, his tour goods are more expensive and have less HP, right? So the stone doesn't give as much value, but it will be basically units that are going to soak up some damage here and there. And we see also Keshik coming out from Wham. So we might see Keshik versus archers on both sides with some spears mixed in, which is just kind of giving us some weird Mongol mirror vibes.
And honestly, seeing Mongol Mirror in this scenario doesn't feel like it's on equal footing though. You do have the Karash for Golden Horde, which does provide that extra layer of protection with that armor. But with the low archer numbers, I'm definitely favoring Puppypaw for this fight. The problem with this is he's pretty good at sniping out the units. I feel like Puppypaw's micro, from what we've seen in the past, he is absolutely superb when it comes to these archers versus spearmen compositions. But Wham, being a sneaky little goose, going for the dock here, well, this opens one thing, and that's the raid straight towards his base though.
Yeah, I don't think he's even going to just raid. I think he's just going to move his whole army to try to do some damage. So I kind of like I mean, not necessarily a bait, right? But Puppypaw definitely out of position, and he could potentially try to either intercept the reinforcements here or maybe go on the wood line or something like that. But instead, he's just going to send it right under TC without the +1 ranged armor. So he's going to take a little bit of damage, decide to back off. And looking at the army count, Puppypaw now has 9 Keshik, and he has 4 more in queue. And I think one of those is double production. So he's going to have a lot of Keshik, and Wham does not have enough spearmen nor Keshik to deal with them.
Now, Puppypaw's villager count stays ahead because of these fishing boats, but they are limited edition. They're eventually going to be running out, but you can see them already paying off with those Keshik numbers that you've mentioned. When you have this many Keshiks, it doesn't feel like this is going to be a limited issue at all. But of course, with the army, it feels like he's getting a little bit sandwiched here. Those superior Keshik numbers might start becoming quite scary, but Puppypaw is still playing it safe, still keeping that split up for now, as he knows that he has that superior economy, at least for the next while. But the fish should be running quite low already.
Yeah, I mean, how many does he have at the bottom side? Those have like about 600 food remaining. Oh yeah, he's got probably 1k, 1.5k food remaining, so he'll have a little bit more to go on. After that, he's going to need to either move on the map or go pastures, which is going to slow down his unit quite a bit.
Now, with this army being ready to get sandwiched, you have to keep in mind the mobility is on the side of Puppypaw because he's got those Keshik numbers, and you can see he's already capitalizing on that. Gets himself a nice surround there on the villager as well, but Keshiks do take quite a bit of fire. This gives Wham the little bit of an opening to try and do some damage, but we see 26 villagers idle, and that just shows the power of raiding and mobility.
Yeah, and I feel like this is definitely a lot better for Puppypaw, because it all comes down to the Keshik Torgud. Like, the armies look similar, right, because Wham has also a lot of raiding units, but half of those are Torguds, so they're basically just a lot worse than Keshik. He is doing some damage here, but he's mostly killing units and causing some idle time, whereas Puppypaw did kill some villagers, and now when he goes back, I think Wham is about to be crunched from both sides.
Now Wham is ready to sacrifice all these archers. As we can see, he's just standing under the TC, attacking what he can, trying to pick off every single unit that steps out, but his Keshiks are falling like flies. The problem is here, the Khan also now getting out. The horse numbers, they equalized a bit, but at the same time, Puppypaw is still going to be able to maintain this production, while Wham is the one who spent valuable resources that he had to go out on the map to gather.
Yeah, and we see the worker count is basically the same, right? But 8 of those are fishing ships, which are going to fall off very soon. Wham is pulling back. 4 Keshik versus 16. I'm actually pretty sure that Wham can just not hold only Keshik. Because 16 Keshik, I'm pretty sure can kill him right now, but He does have some spearmen, and if he gets some good impales on the Keshik, anything is possible, but I think it's going to be really rough for him from here on out.
And we do see the two armies going two different directions, but like you said, this is a pretty tough spot because Puppypaw is the one with the superior army. He's the one who's going to land these raids a lot harder than Wam is going to. But he's got a nice little area to raid. You see the villagers quickly trying to rush that up, but the army, the red army, is also circling for the damage. And the thing is, there's more than one group here. Dashiks, though, they are about to land and they are going to do some good damage, but there is a few reinforcements on the way.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely kill off a couple of villagers. Keshik bait is not gonna work out. Puppypaw sees it, and he's gonna end up connecting on those units. And once again, there are, I think, 2 Torguds in there with the Khan and a couple of Keshiks. So on the other side, I think Puppypaw is potentially just gonna go for a kill. He sees, oh, you have some units out on the map. I'm just gonna go for it, and as you can see, that is a lot of Keshik that he has remaining. 20 right now versus 8 total.
And while the pressure is mounting, you see Wam knowing that this might not be as favorable, but with him running back, he's just wasting precious time where he needs to find the damage. The fight being pretty massive over there on the gold, but the Keshiks here at the top trying to raid and find the source of damage that they need to really stay in the game.
And the tower, he's committing to it. Now he's gonna go block for his archers. I mean, he just has so many units. I think it's gonna be really, really hard for Wam to deal with it, even though he has the Karash and he is idling that tower and killed quite a few workers. I just don't think he has enough to clean this up, and in the end, if you can defend your villagers, there's not going to be any more armor production, so you're going to be pretty cooked. But he is under the TC fire and the tower, so this is kind of like the best case scenario for Wam to fight in. The question is, can he hold off for long enough
and you can
to
see
not lose too many villagers?
Wam is in a spot where most of his economy is idle. You see a lot of villagers just desperately trying to get some resources. But at the same time, the raid was still ongoing. Ooh, another huge bunch of villagers being caught out here. And with the Keshiks, they're trying to frontline, but the archer numbers are significant enough to dent them in and do a bit of damage here. But now, with the food slowly being set up, the first stockyard coming out, this just means that he's going to need a lot more time to make this happen. Boats, though, the boats, they're still going, and they are still pretty plentiful. On the other side, we do see that raid being cleaned up completely, and this one, very much not.
Yeah, more idling on the tower. We see the worker count, 49 versus 48, so both sides taking damage, but it feels like, yeah, Wam's food income is 378 per minute. Puppypaw is almost 1.2k, so he's doing quite well. No wood income for Wam either, so no more archers, and basically one more spearman to go, and that's about it. He's trying to take down these towers, but obviously they got a lot of health, so they're very, very hard to take down. And Wam's reinforcements, I'm not sure where it is because these units have been here for a while without any reinforcements arriving. And we see total 11 Keshik now versus 4. But he is holding.
Holding for a while, and we've seen a lot of players overcommit under these towers. The problem is just Puppypaw looks like he is fine with this committal. It doesn't feel like an overcommit, it just feels like a commit, and he's comfortable taking these. Now the tower, it is targeting these archers. As we can see, there's Keshiks healing up in between the hits. It feels pretty good when you're just here raiding with your massive Keshiks and you know he can do damage, but he just can't do enough. Another set of villagers now going to be paying the price as they step a little bit too far out, desperately trying to get the meat home, but pops right into that very chunky tower. And the Keshiks are starting to clean up the archer numbers, but the problem is there's a lot more on the side of Puppypaw than there is for Wam.
Yeah, and Wam has 0 wood, by the way. 0 on wood, 0 wood. So right now he's only producing Keshik from his side, and I think Puppypaw also realizing, oh, you don't have spearmen, so he's also only producing Keshik, but Puppypaw is looking and he's snacking that age up. Both of them are actually. Out of all this, somehow they're both going to age up at the same time. And this is a part that I love about AoE4. Sometimes you have these like super messy games, and then somehow they end up aging up almost at the exact same time.
And they read each other so well, just understanding exactly what the other one would be doing here. Step Redoubt coming out with 20, and that's the difference. That's a difference. When you're playing as the Mongols, you get to dictate that age up time, while your Muscovy Yasak is still a minute and a half out. This one is going to hit a lot quicker, and the Kashik numbers are mounting pretty scarily here. Now, with the huge amount of investment here on the Step Redoubt, you're obviously not in a spot where you're getting a lot of gold, because, of course, you want to get the maximum amount of it, which means those Kashiks don't get their instant upgrade. You're still going to need a little bit of time for that to kick in. So now with the we can see Wham still trying to find some damage, but stepping in and just as quickly stepping out. He cannot afford to lose a single unit here.
Yeah, I'm very surprised actually that Wham managed to hold as well as he did. Now, reminder that his 8 fishing ships should be expiring like any second now. So also Puppypaw has no pastures. Like this is very, very committed. And I mean, I call it an all-in usually, right? So it might seem weird, like how is he all-inning in castle? Well, he has no transition. All his villagers are out on the map. He even might be buying food at this point to just keep producing units and end the game. And he has the upgrade advantage. So now is when he should like push the advantage as much as he can. Like he should take these Kashik and just try to run them everywhere, because once Wham gets that upgrade, then we're again somewhat on equal footing and the game might continue. But he really wants to get this tower down, and as we saw earlier, Wham now with 17 on wood, he will be able to repair that up, but those towers are just so tanky.
The towers is surviving an onslaught constantly out, and the Khan gets picked off. That feels good. You're already just picking off units one by one to try and have the tower fire not be able to soak up as much, but tower stays alive. Villagers coming out to repair it. It gets set on fire. He does get the bounty here, but with the villagers repairing, it will stay alive for another while. The archers, though, just feudal age archers here to pick off a few spears that might step out. Kashik upgrade about to land, and now it's veteran Kashik versus veteran Kashik, but there is still a significant number advantage.
Yeah, how many stockyards do we have? Can we take a little peek?
Oh,
not too many actually. Okay. So both of them, food situation is looking pretty bad, but I think Golden Horde is going to have an easier time transitioning, but Puppypaw is going for a full committal right now. He sees that Wham is weak. There are crossbows coming, but there are also crossbows on Puppypaw's side as well being made. So we're just having like a full Kashik on Kashik, like back in the day, Mongol versus Mongol action at this point, which is better towers. And he is mowing down these Kashik. 0 Kashik remaining for Wham. There is 1 crossbow and some Rus tributes, but I think with this, Puppypaw can just go around the base and do some raiding, because well, it's going to be hard to catch up to those.
Oh, and you can see Wham desperately getting those villagers back home to safety. He knows that you guys might be out here just getting the resources you can, but this is only limited edition. And Puppypaw cleaning out a ton more villages with all these alarms going off. You very quickly start to lose track of where you are getting raided. And even though a few Kashiks will fall, the crossbow numbers are still pretty scary here from Puppypaw. The tower's still up after all this time. Fortified outpost. This is insane. He kept this alive as long as he could. More villagers are desperately repairing, but not fast enough.
Yeah, just not enough. I wonder how much damage those towers did. They must have done insane amounts so far, like in this game, because they've been garrisoned with 5 villagers just shooting for what it feels like 12, 13 minutes now. And we see Wham trying to transition to crossbow spearmen. This is what usually happens when you lose map control. But Puppypaw, as we can see, he's still continuing the Kashik crossbow production. He's not slowing down. The fishing ships are now idle, so the economy is actually, even with that, Puppypaw has about 4 more workers, but his food situation is also running out. He has some bears at the bottom. He is not bothering with relics, even though he has full map control, and I think that's just because he's trying to end the game as well.
Now, Puppypaw does go for the first one, but yeah, like you said, it's not something that he is putting a lot of priority on here either. Fortified outpost repaired now, and you have to ask yourself, is this something that he sees as worth investing to more? But it looks like he's just trying to get those stockyards up and running. Now having 4, this is already 16 villages fully engaged in a your food economy. It doesn't feel too bad, and if he holds on to this, it's still going to be a pretty scary move for Puppypaw to keep diving in on here. But now the Uwu going down, another set of stone, not going to be making it home, and that's just going to keep him stuck in this space for a bit longer. Now, men-at-arms, not something you can opt for against a bunch of Keshiks and crossbows, so he's just stuck making spears and stuck making a ton of crossbows in all of this. But the tower is here to help. The crossbows just don't dare step under it.
Yeah, and we do see Puppypaw struggling for food right now. The villagers are now arriving on the food and dropping off, but he hasn't been producing Keshik or crossbow in a little bit. And we do see now that relics are disappearing from the map, so both players are opting to yoink. We see Puppypaw with 2, Wham with 1. And the raiding continues. That tower is still standing, so it's continuing its streak of just killing units left and right. And this game is a lot closer than I thought it would after the initial engagements. I thought Puppypaw would be able to clean up, but Wham is still holding.
And Wham is more than holding. Puppypaw now transitioning to men-at-arms, and this is why I alluded to it a little bit earlier. It doesn't feel like the natural response when you're up against this many crossbows, but maybe as a response to the spearmen to just provide that level of forward protection for your crossbows themselves. But Keshik's in the mix still, and you have to ask yourself, is Puppypaw gonna be okay with the food switch as well? Still, still nothing in terms of these pastures, and he is still out on the map trying to gather every bit of resource that he can. But now with the step out moving this far out, this is where things start to spiral out of control, when your opponent starts doing those sneaky little raids, and Wham is the kind of guy who will be able to pull that off.
Yeah, and we see Wham has 60 stone per minute, so only one Uwu working right now. But luckily he doesn't have the Torgood age up, so I guess he doesn't care about it too much. He would probably want to get triple production at some point, so right now he's just playing a basic civilization. But that food income, Marika, right now 40 on food. And Puppypaw does have 33, which might look even, but a lot of those are on berries around the map, and they're not actually on pastures or stockyards in case of... So, Wham doesn't seem like he's got too many units defending. He wants to do some big raiding on the right side. That tower is still standing, by the way, MVP. And he's going to be doing a raid on the gold. That gold is looking pretty thin, so it's going to be running out soon. So one of the things Puppypaw can do is wait for him to run out of gold and then try to search for engage, but that is a massive army discrepancy now.
Wham now in the driver's seat, and this is so surprising to see between the two. It just feels like there was a moment here where Puppypaw was ready to kill, but now it's just completely turned the other way. We do see that raiding party still being very much engaged, trying to make the damage happen, but with both of them happening on the same or different sides, the tension is split, and so will the performance be. With those Keshiks now finally making their way out of the base, and Wham just gets to return to normal and try to gather from all his stockyards, keep that food income just that much above his brother.
Yeah, I think Puppypaw has been stuck on the crossbow thing for a while now. Like, if all these crossbows were archers, he would, like, absolutely mow down this army, right? Because the archers would counter spearmen and crossbow, but he's kind of just stuck on making crossbows the whole time, which actually don't really counter anything in Wham's army. Meanwhile, Wham's crossbows are obviously obliterating Keshik and making it really hard for Puppypaw to do any kind of engagements into. Now, he's going to collapse on this army and clean up these crossbows, but the economy is definitely going to be, I think, better for Wham long term with the stock.
Now, with the villager count being very much in Wham's favor with those 80 fishing ships when they eventually, if they eventually get deleted, this does feel like Wham is just going to stay in the driver's seat and keep the pressure going. Now getting his own little spearman raid here on the opposite side, and that's what I talked about. When you get to the spot where your food's running out, you will go anywhere and everywhere for it. But sometimes it can be a little risky, and he decides to call it. He has had enough, and the brother takes down the other.
Yeah, GG gets called, and like I said, early on, I think Wham had a big disadvantage because of the fishing ships, but the moment those ran out, you could see it kind of started turning around. I'm very surprised because Puppypaw had a pretty big lead. I feel like at one point it was like 35 army versus 7 or something like that. And he just kind of kept attacking into the towers. Like the amount of time he's committed into towers, I feel like if he just made a ram, that game would have been a lot easier for him. So in the end, Wham does hold, fishing ships do run out, and Golden Horde prevail.
Golden Horde, we've been trying to figure out where they land compared to Mongols, because we don't really see them as we haven't seen as much of them, but Mongols, they haven't been such a prior pick in a lot of these maps. In the tournament, I think we've gotten a lot of insights into this. Since the last EGC tournament, there's been no other events that people are truly competing for at this high of a level. But of course, we want to see what players are using for Red Bull Wololo. With Red Bull Wololo, you're just getting we're getting the raw play of players if you didn't have these smaller events taking place in between. But now we're getting a little bit of insight. And with our next matchup, we have HRE versus Ayyubids. And on Holy Island, I am ready. Alex, Beastie. Alex, when
Beastyqt.
Beastyqt, full name, Beastyqt. How are we feeling about that Holy Roman Empire decision of the mine work instead of going for a good old Aachen Chapel, especially on a map like this?
I mean, it depends what the situation in the game is, like what the spawn is like usually. So right now, Chapel not looking too great because the gold is very forward. So you can be like, you know what, I don't need the Chapel necessarily, but mine work is also very good if you're playing, let's say, into French or any civ that has knights, because you will be able to get that, you know, spearman bonus damage or horseman bonus damage. So you don't need to. I think it mostly comes down to player preference. But sometimes if you get like gold next to the woodline, you're like, yeah, that's a Chapel angle for sure, because it just boosts your income so much. Now this matchup is a bit of a weird one because it is Ayyubid, and Ayyubid can do some cheesy stuff. They can go for super fast age up, or they can play normally. So you kind of have to be very careful with your scouting.
Now, with the early game scouting, of course, the sheep, it doesn't usually matter that much because you have other sources. But we've seen time and time again players losing the water and still making something out of it. Now, what I love about the top level is usually the scout goes and just disrupts a little bit of this villager gathering by getting him nice and low. So you can't stay there forever and just try to build your second dock all for free.
Yeah, and let's see, House of Wisdom already going up. We see 2 villagers on gold from Puppypaw. So I feel like he is doing potentially 3 fishing ships into culture age up, which is something that used to be very, very popular. Oh, it might be even 2 fishing ships. So he just chopped down 1 tree, I think. And he's going to be going up with that pretty fast. Oh, no, he's staying. Okay, never mind. He's 140 gold right now. I'm just keeping track of his gold. I thought he might pull back the villagers, but he is keeping them there. And we already see he's sending a villager for a dock. So I'm a bit confused. Maybe he will just keep the 2 on gold for afterwards. But he does plan to still go with the fast age up. Let's see what he has planned.
That's interesting. Going for a faster age up, it makes sense. You're getting yourself into a similar spot to what your opponent's civ might be able to reach, but it does forego a lot of these advantages that civs like the Ayyubids does have by themselves by going for the other wings. And with all of the resources piling up, I don't know, faster age up, we say. What would
yeah, but then I don't understand why is he sending the villager then across the map. Like, that's the part that's confusing to me. Because that is a very early villager, right? And if Wham just goes for the age up, then you're basically making a dock next to your opponent, but it's not like you're aging up faster than them. In fact, I think Wham is going to age up first. So I'm kind of curious about this, because you usually go fast age up, and then you do kind of like a archer ship into springald ship, kind of like a little cheese or something, but This way just seems like a normal age-up timing with a dock next to your opponent's dock. And Wham, you can see he's a little bit spooked by it, and he also stopped at 3 fishing.
No, this is usually ooh, and with the Arkan as well, you're, like you said, it's not always a clear cut, but if you do get the double value, I definitely see why this would be worth it for Wham. You have so many villages, you don't want to reinvest in getting another prelate to just boost that economy even more, but you're gonna get that age up significantly quicker, or I guess not significantly. In this case, it does feel pretty even in the end, but villager against villager action about to happen. Wham pulling the boy. But the problem here is you do have a scout to assist, and of course killing this villager doesn't really get you anything. He probably wants to drop another dock, but the industry wing is already going to secure that boat that is going to disrupt your economy.
Yeah, I don't know. They obviously practice together, right? So I don't know if Wham is like confused by this because he's like, wait, why are you not aging up? Or like, where's the age up? Or he might think this is the fast age up, but it is not. We see another dock coming in, so he's just gonna surround that dock from both sides. And like I said, Ayyubid on this map is usually pretty cheeky, and this is the version of cheeky I haven't seen yet.
And this is a pretty intense fight already. You can see Wham pulling that veil back. He realizes this is not a fight I want to take. I don't want to risk this. But at the same time, he just needs to start the dock so the dock cannot be built by his brother. Puppypaw, ooh, the dock. I don't think the blueprint has fully ticked here, but oof, the Hulk will disrupt any thoughts of trying to make this happen. But he doesn't go for the villager instantly, gets that second shot off and gets the kill too. But now we have a springled on springled action here with a lot more boats coming out all the way from the other side.
Yeah, that Springled comes out and says, hey, brother, and just snaps that villager in half. And yeah, this is kind of what I was saying. I'm not sure what the plan is. Like, maybe he just wanted it for healing. Because, you know, he can put, like, heavy pressure and just heal behind it or something like that. Which could be a thing. On the other side, I think the HRE did go for Chapel, right? So he's going to have a really, really strong wood income for the next while. So Puppypaw kind of has to have better water micro and try not to lose his ships as much as he possibly can, while Wham has some error to make a mistake here and there because of the hiring.
Usually when you're watching some players, you already know who the favorite is, but he gets a connection. Yeah, beautiful connection. And already puts himself in a leading spot to try and push this back. Like, what I was saying is, with a lot of the matchups, we don't always know who's going to be the better one on water, but with the top players, you usually have a guy who you know, this man on water, you are not going to have a good time. But both of these players do have that little bit of notoriety. So, which way this goes? Oh, we're going to need to see with the micro here, as the second demo ship does not make his connection, and Puppypaw is just looking impeccable.
Yeah, the trades are looking much better for Puppypaw, and like I said, that's kind of what he needs, right? He has worse eco. If we look at the income, you can see that Wham already has like 100 and a bit wood extra per minute. So he is doing a very good job microing that and trying to get away from those pesky demo ships, if you will. Another hull comes out, but that archer ship might be going down, and the fishy ships are now idle, which means less economy for Wham than he should. The archer ship goes down, the demo ship lands, and just like that, bim bada boom.
Usually, we actually were worried that this series might go a few hours, but apparently these boys are not going to be wasting any time. 7 minutes 44 and calls it already. He does not want to be wasting time on a water map knowing what will happen with all of that economy. They've played against each other enough to know where this will lead.
Yeah, and just like that, the series is now 1-1, and we are effectively in a best of 5. Now, Marinka, looking at the draft, who do you prefer?
Yes, I was going to say, we finally have literally 1 minute to look at the draft. And honestly, I kind of like, ooh, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one, considering Puppypaw got Juishi, China, French, Malians, and Ottomans. Okay, I was about to say, I feel pretty 50-50 based on the Sims, but honestly, Puppypaw, he's got this draft. Yes. Yes. Just Puppypaw, yes. How do you feel about that?
Well, I just saw that Sengoku is picked by Wham. So that's a pretty good civ, I heard. I don't know if you
Mm.
know, but it's unbeatable in team games, actually.
In team games, okay.
Yeah,
Well, you do
yeah.
have to keep in mind, Japan usually gets banned a little bit more. What I actually like about this is that we get different bans on both sides. We get Sengoku and Taklak ban versus Malians and Ottomans ban. And this is actually something we haven't seen at all.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is they practice together, right? So it's hard to know what they actually play or what the, meta is between two of them or what they consider is good. Like Wham, banning Sengoku and whatever else he banned, Tuklak, maybe he's like, you know what, Puppypaw is really good with those civs. Let me ban them and I'll take them. And then on the other side, Puppypaw doing the same with Ottoman and Malian. So maybe it's the case of that. Maybe it's just the case of they prefer those civs, so they want them for themselves. We will never know because they're never going to reveal their secret. But either way, we're now here on Frisian Marsh.
Now, just imagine if you had a twin brother that you could be practicing with. Wouldn't that make life so much easier to keep your strategy secret and give you a chance at winning Red Bull Walla Law for like these two?
I mean, what if he's just bad at the game, though?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Do
Like,
you think someone with your DNA would be bad at the game?
I mean, possibly.
I do see
Like,
a...
I don't know, actually. But, I mean, there's, let me just say this, there's a higher chance that they would be bad than good. Because, just the odds, right? I think the Spanish and Canadian bros just got very lucky, right? The
Good
fact
spawn.
that yeah, good RNG on the brother skill in video games. So I think that's kind of more like it.
Now, the Japanese opening, we see time and time again on, I would say, water maps, but any map. Japanese they love that good early game spear pressure. Because, of course, they still have the option of going for a dock after. They are not under the same pressure as most civilizations with full hardships, etc. They're going to be able to use that spear and actually just shut down what needs to get shut down without too much of a hassle. But Puppypaw, he's ready to hassle back and goes for his own spearman to contest this. But with Wham only making one, we'll see if Puppy gets a little bit of an overreaction here.
Yeah, Juishi Legacy. It's kind of interesting. Like, nobody played Juishi on Frisian Marshes for a very long time. And I remember, I think it was Anaten played it once. And then people were like, yeah, maybe it's good. And then now you see it every once in a while on this map being played. And it's always like either fast age up or just kind of spearman opening. It's almost never just normal dock play because they end up playing against some aggressive civ. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Usually the Japanese is the one putting pressure, but in this case, Puppypaw is just going to rally those spearmen across. And the funny thing about Juishi Legacy or China is you cannot outproduce them in Dark Age. So they will have more spearmen than you because of that supervision ability.
Being able to watch your building closely just ensures that these spears are going to pump out at the speed of light. The problem here is your second goal being right next to your main one makes this a lot harder to just go for a normal age up anyway with time. So this, Wham says though, we just get another one and then we try to take this fight and doesn't just opt for spears, he goes for samurai as well.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
I mean, Samurai's there for tanking because he's gonna try to put Samurai in front of the Spearman whenever the charge happens. But the double barracks is not because like, ooh, I'm gonna make double barracks to have more Spearmen than him. The double barracks is simply because he knows he cannot produce as much as the Juishi Legacy can, and he knows he's behind it. We see double Samurai coming.
Now, Samurai, it's the age-old question of getting rushed as English. Do I invest in that man-at-arms in the early game to try and slow down a spear rush? And I think a lot of people have been saying no, but Wham is telling us a whole different story. Samurai is the name of the game, but they do have a deflective shield, so I do see the appeal here. So, in a match where you're up against this many spears, though, it can spiral out of control, especially with the low amounts that he can produce. That secondary dock or secondary barracks definitely going to be adding getting the numbers a bit closer, but still he needs to be so careful here. Deflective armor can only do that much.
Yeah, we see 3 samurai now. That is quite a bit, and I feel like they can tank quite a bit as well. Oh, torches come out. Oh, yo. That's actually a lot of damage being done, and it's going to force Wham to pull back a little bit. Oh my god, he just he just scorched his head, and now he is bald on those units. And we see 10 spearmen. Now, Puppypaw he's not all in, as in, like, if this does work, the game is 100% over, but he is very, very, very committed to making this work. And he's going to be looking for a cheeky age up plus an upgrade. And if you look, Wham is so far away from the age up that there's definitely a big timing for Puppy here.
Now, Puppypaw with a meditation garden gets both stone and gold here. Feels pretty decent overall. So this is already going to put him into a decent spot to be able to fall back when he needs to, when he decides that is the case. But with the spearman numbers here, you see Wham also still investing in those samurais. And yet another one. This is already the food twice that he would need to just age up. So it does feel pretty hard. But at the same time, Tatara coming through, he just wants to make sure that those hits that he lands are going to be so much better. Problem is, supervision is going to make sure that this upgrade comes out in no time.
The problem for Puppy is actually going to be food very soon. Like, he will need to go on berries, where his income is going to go down. But Wham is going to try to hold this as much as he can. You can see he's still making samurai, but there's 15 spearmen, and soon they're going to be upgraded as well. That dock is going down fast, boy, and he's going to need to either fight or give it up, because these units that Puppypaw has are about to be upgraded.
And with that HF coming through, you can see he feels that pressure. Villager coming forward to try and repair this in time, but to another samurai being queued up. And even though he's seen the age up, he knows this. He knows he needs to follow. He's still producing, realizing that this is the way for him to fight this. But Puppypaw hasn't clicked that upgrade button.
Yeah, we're upgrade. We're upgrade. Oh, there it is.
And it's coming in quickly, usually 15 seconds, but this thing coming in just under 10. So with that villager trying to repair, he's doing his best, but the trees are definitely blocking here. He needs to find that damage. Spearman's now upgraded, but the samurai, they are going to make this a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to commit to the fight. The samurai number, 8 of them right now. I mean, even though those spearmen are upgraded, 8 samurai is quite a bit. And Kura's storehouse coming in. And dare I say, I feel like Wham held this. And this is a type of game I have not seen, where Japanese is the one defending, specifically with double barracks samurai, with fast age up Juishi legacy. But he does hold, and now you see palace guards coming. So we might just continue seeing this kind of dent off with mass melee units, but let's not forget, Wham has +1 attack already completed, which is going to be really, really nice this kind of fight.
Now, with a little bit of gold boost, I would say, oh my goodness, it just keeps happening and it throws me off so much. This amount of spears at Dark Age, I'm not emotionally ready to handle all of that, but you have to get the resources in to get the upgrades. Luckily, only 35, just as you would with your Dark Age spears, so it doesn't feel as expensive, but he probably wants to do this in more than one way. To be able to get that +2 upgrade is going to be quite critical, especially with Palace Guards coming in. Now, Palace Guards, we've seen them trade out against OOTD Men-at-Arms in this tournament already. And Palace Guards, because they can come out so quickly, they can overwhelm pretty fast, especially with Juishi just able to also catch up with the amount that you need with the supervision, and also just the speed that you can have around with surrounding them. I'm completely thrown off every single time these villagers are fighting. I want to comment on it, but perfect micro here from Wham pulls the villager with no HP. And at the same time, he's under complete pressure here. And still getting that extra dock, slowly transitioning into more economy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this looks really good for Wham right now. I mean, he has 2 docks that are up and working. I don't really like the idea of the palace guards for Puppypaw. Like, they do work if you're the one opening palace guards, and then you can run around and whatever, but your opponent already has 10 samurai. And samurai are just better than palace guards in feudal age, especially because of the deflective armor. So I kind of wonder if they had this kind of game before, you know, because sometimes, like I said, when you guys practice, you end up with matchups that you never played because you're trying to throw off each other. And I feel like Palace Guards, maybe if it was just mass Zugunu, it could do really, really well into this comp from Wham, but Wham has a much better scaling army, whereas Puppypaw is just kind of making stuff in the moment.
Now the Zugunu numbers are steadily increasing here, and you can see he's prioritizing that quite a bit. With 3 on gold, he's still having a pretty steady income to get any upgrade he would need to be able to switch into a faster castle. But the problem is when your opponent just has so many units, this is not an option for you anymore. Him getting all the docks he can and now going for yet another one. This is so risky of an investment when you know your opponent has so many units and he does not have anything to handle this. Now just trying to get out as many Zugunu as possible because they should be able to handle these these samurais at least for a while. But with these numbers of Yumi, I'm a little bit worried for them.
Yeah, and we see Puppypaw now with 18 on wood. He definitely is trying to get the docks going to maybe catch up in the eco, and he has just revealed that our Zugunu. So Wham is just immediately going to run away. But if I'm Wham from here on out, I just like keep clicking on those samurai and I keep making as many of them as I can. And he's gonna continue making Yumi. Now, I feel like in a straight-up fight, assuming they have equal amount of units, I think Puppypaw's combo is better because of Zugunu. But in these current amounts and the way this game has been going, I feel like it is better for Wham just because of how many samurai he has. And I feel like Puppypaw doesn't have that critical mass of Zugunu where they just kind of mow down everything.
And these spearmen that have been as sleeper agents just waiting around the map, they have not been able to really do anything. Now finally getting, I was going to say, getting a little bit of value by shutting down the dock, but that's not even the case. The Yumis were in position already, and now +1 attack coming on out. He's going to find a way to shut this down because +1 defense has been in for a while, and that's why these trades are just feeling worse and worse. But the deadweight spears, they're just getting picked off like they mean nothing. And with all of this, they've been idle for so long. Now, okay, the Yumis, they don't just get this all for free. They do have to work for it. But again, you just have a ton of your army. That is a significant bunch just standing here, making sure that this army count looks even when it's really not.
Yeah, and we see the Zugunu engagement. Now, they kind of want to both probably work on sniping each other's archers, because I feel like Zugunu would just completely mow down the Yumi, but there's just too many samurai, and that's kind of the problem. Like, samurai are just better palace guards, so in these kinds of straight-up fights, they are going to trade better. The +1 ranged armor is also there, and Zugunu are being used on armored units, basically, and Wham's samurai are being used to, you know, fight the palace guards, and then the Yumi are used to fight units that have no armor. So he gets a pretty good trade-off. Fishing ships, 11-9. So Puppypaw is still pretty good on economy. The game is not over in any way. But like I said, now Puppypaw is in a weird state where he lost a lot of the palace guards. So he has an option. Do I keep making palace guards? Do I go only Zugunu? But now we see horsemen coming from Wham. And if he keeps that a little bit of a secret and maybe makes like 6-7 horsemen. Oh, I said the number. Oops. And then he gets on the Zugunu. I think that might be a very, very tough fight for Puppypaw.
Now, we do see the engagement coming out here from the side, but the Zugunu, they're doing good work against the samurai, but just not fast enough as the Yumis are thinning them out pretty quickly. Palace Guardian on the back, trying to make matters worse, but we don't see a horseman reveal just yet. No more horsemen in the queue. You can see the Zugunu numbers being this low already. Palace guards are just melting by the hands of the samurai, and the katana bannerman just providing that extra bit of a boost. Puppypaw, he's gonna know that this is not a game that he's gonna be able to take from his brother. And Wham, looking already at that death push, under 15 minutes.
Yep, and Japanese beating the Juishi legacy. Honestly, the way the game started, I'm surprised that Wham managed to hold that, but between the two brothers, he's definitely the more defensive player and knows how to hold off these pushes better. And I think that Puppypaw is definitely the kind of the aggressor who's trying to make something happen. And I think so far in this series, that's kind of what you saw, right? And both times Wham barely holding on, but managing to hold on and then having better economy to kind of push the game into the late feudal or in one of the other games into late castle and kind of grab that. And now the villagers are going down, and that's never the sight that you want to have in one of your games because that's usually not good in Age of Empires.
That's a good fact you just shared with us. Losing villagers is bad. I hope Twitch chat, I hope you took some notes of that because that is exactly what Beastie is here to teach all of us. And oh my goodness, these samurais just slicing and dicing the heads of the vills, everyone falling to the floor in unison, looking like they're made of paper. Unfortunately, it is just a destruction. And Puppypaw, he's got to think what is going to be his next move. But guys, we do have a little bit of a change of plans here, as Beastie will be joining me from the seat next to me. So Beastie,
That's right.
I am gonna need you to bring a chair though, because I do not have an extra one for you. And Gigi Dog, she is currently holding your chair.
I'll be there in 20 minutes. I just need to catch a bus. I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
All right.
And just like that, we have had enough of the beast. We're gonna go turn his face off and then put you guys on just my face with the beast joining me right here. So, ladies and gents, it's time. It's time for yet another one. Let's hop on in and see how Wham and Puppypaw are gonna play this one out, secure that spot at Homestead Cup.
That's right. And this is game number 4. I'm taking this.
Okay. No, you look splendid.
Thank you. That's
It's
all
okay.
I needed to do.
It's now Twitch has seen enough and they don't need any more. You've already given them the treat.
And now we go unhinged.
Oh,
See, I was professional for the first.
You were professional for a while. Guys, the cast uses a little bit of professionality at this point because of durations. But
Wow.
oh, you saw that live. Mm.
Yeah, I saw that earlier in 240p. Yo, guys, just let me know in the chat if my stream is working fine, because I continued just restream because I figured might as well. But yeah, production values through the roof. That was me, by the way. I did that split screen.
Yeah.
I looked at it and it split. So there it is. All right. So what matchup do we have? Can we see the? Yeah, there we go. Macedonian Dynasty versus Deli. Now, I'm an expert in Deli, and especially this matchup. So I don't know if you know this, but in Red Bull qualifiers, I lost this matchup 3 times.
I was gonna say, you are a professional Deli
but
player.
Especially in this matchup. Like, I lost in a few matchups, but this one, I just lost 3 games. And I was like, okay, I should not play this matchup again. So, maybe Puppypaw is better than me.
Maybe.
Deli than I am, but I lost this matchup to 3 different players as well. So it's not like one guy was really good in this matchup. It's like I lost to everybody I met. So in the end, we will see how it goes for Puppypaw. But I do think that Macedonian Dynasty is a good civ to have. So
yeah, seeing it coming through is actually a little bit of a surprise because it's still coming through, but people are contesting it quite a bit. And guys, we actually do get to speed through the initial stages of this game because we did have some tech setup problems, but we will catch up with them live pretty soon. And that means we don't need to yap about the boring stage of Dark Age, where absolutely nothing happens between these two civs.
love Dark Age.
You love Dark Age? I'll slow down. I can go back if you want me to.
We missed it. Can we go?
Okay.
I want to see the.
You want to see the sheep again? And then tell me about how you lost on Deli.
I mean, I lost pretty badly.
Now, looking at Dome of the Faith, this is still age-old landmark, nothing ever changes. Is there ever a moment where Tower of Victory will see a comeback?
It's not bad. I do play it sometimes. Now I know you're gonna say, yeah, but you lose every time. But actually, fun fact, when I go Tower of Victory, I win. But when I go this Demon Landmark, I lose. But I lose pretty often these days, so I don't know if this is a civ at this point.
We were talking about upsets at the Homestead Cup, and what would be an upset. And if you
Me
ask...
winning a game.
Who's the underdog in Homestead Cup? That's what we were also talking about.
Me.
B came up, and then there was another name that came.
I mean, it's B for sure, right? Like everyone else has a lot of land. I mean, he has land experience too. But yeah, I would say B. Honestly, yeah.
B.
Yeah.
Bad. So B's the
Well,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, Antan performs really well at live events, doesn't he?
Yeah. He did really well at Steel. I mean, he lost 3-2, 3-2, but that was pretty...
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that Ghazi though. The Ghazi is finding his way out, trying to do a little bit of damage, and you can see he's just trying to be out on the map and with some pressure. Beastie is trying to troll me on this.
Reka, can you be professional? Why are you cackling? What did I do?
I'll make it nice and big for stream. Oh, but there's an impaling happening here, boys. And, ooh, that is unfortunate. The spearman just clapping anyone who dares step close to them.
I just want to say, my Deli game wasn't this kind of level, like, beginning of it. Like, it was kind of even and then I just died. So the fact that Puppypaw is already taking damage, kind of making me happy. Like, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's just the civ gap that I was dealing with.
So it was never you. It was always
Yeah,
the
maybe
civ.
it's just an impossible matchup. So I'm kind of hoping Puppypaw loses just because of that. So that I can be like, yeah, man, that matchup is actually beatable. Because if he wins, then that puts question my Deli.
And, I mean, is chat not already questioning your Deli most of the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm questioning your Deli. Whenever I see you, like, picking Deli as, like, a second or a third pick, I'm like...
No, I never do second. That's
Okay,
crazy.
okay. Third or a fourth pick.
Still crazy. Like fourth or fifth, maybe.
Okay. You know there are better civs out there, and according to MSN, that's Abyssid.
Right. So anyway, let's see what's happening. So we got some spearmen, and we got some horsey boys. Now I always like seeing when they go for multiple units with Macedonian dynasty. I always like to see what do people prefer upgrading. Because in this case, do you prefer upgrading horsemen so you can raid and get armor? Or do you upgrade spearmen because of archers? It's a very interesting thing to think about.
I mean,
That's what keeps me up at night.
And that's... Do you ever get to play this civilized?
Yeah.
So people don't ban it against you.
No.
What do they ban? Malians? Malian king?
No, they... Like, Sengoku. But they don't know, I don't know how to play it, so it's just a waste.
So they don't realize they're just throwing away a ban.
Yeah, I don't even know a build order for that. So.
Okay, I was watching some guy on YouTube teaching people how to play, but must have been someone else. Now, with the little bit of a wall, he's already getting that control you need to just get the Deli going. And this is something that Beastie may have struggled with in his games. But the wall comes up, the horses, the Ghazis are there to protect, and the spears are nowhere to be seen because these bad boys are just not mobile as them horses. But with these archers, you are already gonna need to be careful. You can't just wear out too far forward, but you still feel a little bit more confident than usual. Oh, and the Ghazi numbers are quite scary here. It doesn't look like Wam investing too much into the horses. Now, Beastie did leave the scene, and he will probably be back soon, but I can imagine... did you forget to mute your mic or something?
No. Age of Empires was on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I am back right now. So, this is the situation so far that I know how to play and I know what to do. This is where it kind of went downhill for me. Like, when the fights start and when we get a couple of upgrades, that's when it starts going downhill. Now, we don't see any upgrades yet with the silver. So, what is he going to upgrade? I'm going to say... spears.
I was gonna say he has a lot of spears. I don't want it to be spears. Ooh, but
that is not good.
Yeah, the archers being this far out, this is something I talked about while you were busy turning off the client. It just... These you need to be so careful with, but luckily he didn't notice it in time, or luckily for Puppypaw, Wam didn't notice it in time. And we do see our stronghold defense Aristides coming out, and that's gonna feel pretty good, but the spears get a massive connection here. And they do have to pull back though. The archers, plentiful. I'm going to be killing them pretty quickly.
Yeah, no upgrade yet. That has to be for getting angle, because you definitely want to get that as soon as you can. Do you see kind of like an engagement all over the place, like a couple of units here, a couple of units there. The spearmen are running away, but I feel like this is pretty good for Puppypaw. That wall makes it annoying for Wham to move around as well. But now we see the Ridari, which came out. That guy.
He is the guy she tells you not to worry about. The Ridari, the strongest of them all, taking care of any units that dare comes close. But Wham, he knows it's time. It's more or less time for the Deli to run out of food, and this is where I get him. So getting one of these villages a little bit far out, and there's no space in the tower, so he will pay the price. But you can see Wham is everywhere on the map trying to shut down this Deli advantage that they usually have with all of these prelates being able to come on around. Now the spears here providing that extra layer of what you need to burn down a tower, but the tower will survive and the archers will reign supreme as they arrive right on time.
And right now we see Puppypaw going for the spearman switch, so Wham has to go for either Varangian guards or archers himself, otherwise he's going to be cooked. So he cannot... Okay, there's the archers, Bogmadir are coming out. But Deli has that specialty in just producing million units really quick. So far I'm liking the way both of the players are playing, pretty clean, but I do... I think Puppypaw's position a little bit better because he has had 2 sacred sites for quite a while now.
Now, gold trickle just helps so much in keeping these military numbers at least alive and even, but it doesn't feel like he's invested too much into prelates. Ooh, and now he's the one aggressing. Is this something you ever saw in your games?
Well, my opponents that played Macedonian Dynasty usually had upgrades at this point, so it was very hard fighting their armies. But I think without upgrades on the enemy's units, I think I could have done pretty well there in the main fights. But then again, Puppypaw's upgrades either, so they really don't like their upgrades.
There's a few players that stand out that just don't prioritize those upgrades, and the 2 brothers are definitely out there. Puppypaw though, going for the eco ones probably only because they're free. Otherwise...
Well, that's the thing, the blacksmith ones are free. I guess the building isn't, but if neither player has the upgrades, then I guess it's pretty even, right? And it doesn't matter in the end, but the upgrades being free is obviously really, really good. So the army comp, I feel like the longer the game goes, is going to be better for Wham, simply because of those champions that give bonus damage to the cavalry, and the fact that every unit they have is just slightly a bit better than Deli's unit. So the big fight is coming in. The horsemen are getting, or the guys are getting completely mowed down from Puppypaw. The surround is coming in, and I feel like Puppypaw is just going to get absolutely butchered right here.
And
wow.
This sort of takes you back to your games, Red Bull qualifiers, as Deli just falls apart here, but it felt like Puppypaw was doing pretty well there for a moment. It felt like he was able to do that bit of a damage. He actually took down the stronghold, which was great, pretty expensive at the same time, but that's up.
That's how my game went. I was like, man, I'm doing okay, like this is nice, and then I died. And I was like, okay, I guess that did not work out in the end. So, sad that Puppypaw loses, right? At the same time, happy because maybe just a matchup gap, you know? I'm not sure, but it looks pretty rough from Deli point of view. Now, I kind of wonder at this point, what does Deli do? Maybe I don't know, maybe the angle is like doing a fast castle into an elephant or something like that. I'm not actually sure.
We have seen a few people try to pull off the fast castle and make it work, but it has been pretty rough. Honestly, guys, I did not expect this to be a 3-1 already. Wham and Puppypaw just kind of speedrunning this. They're like, whoever wants to go play against MSN, you've got it. You got to do it. So with these 2, we're going to see who gets to that honor of trying to take down the new kid on the block. But we have Ottomans against Byzantines, and we see Malians getting sniped out, which is a very reasonable response.
All right, we do see it.
And Sengoku.
And Sengoku getting banned. You know what I find interesting? He only picked Sengoku, one other.
Guys, by the way, is the volume better now? Let's just quickly try. The problem is Beastyqt keeps moving backwards away from the microphone. Can you move a little bit forward? Okay, how are we feeling? No. Otherwise, I'm never gonna get the volume right. Okay, can you talk? quickly?
Test 1 2 3 1 2 3. Ottoman versus Byzantine coming in hot.
Oh, the volume and BC stream. Okay, well then they need to worry about it there. Okay, are we good here on our side? Okay, much better. Thank you. Okay, now you can't move backwards to pet Gigi dog, and you have to talk towards the microphone. You guys, earlier someone said I have a better microphone than you, but it's only because Beastie's microphone is all the way in China.
That's right.
Yeah. But anyway, Ottomans versus Byzantines. Matchup is all this time.
I'll fix on my stream soon. I just got comfy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. There we go. Ladies and gents,
Let's
go
jump
see.
into it, Marika. Into
Hell
game number
yeah.
5. It is now 3-1 for WAMO to the 1.
And WAMO to the 1, he's also going to be a man of stone in a usual world. But this is not a usual man. He doesn't need no stone. He's got the berries. He's going for Hippodrome. He doesn't play no meta. It doesn't even meta.
Well, he is gonna go for berries because he's playing against the Otto chat, so he doesn't know if the barracks is coming or not. Although, I feel like in these spawns, Grand Winery could be very possible, even if you do potentially get towered. Which he is not. He's getting military schooled, which I think is completely okay to just go Grand Winery, but he is opting not to. But luckily, he has a pretty good spawn in the back there. Double berry, triple berry patch actually kind of in the back. Very easy to wall, so he's probably going to be very happy with that. But the problem is, long term, or I guess long feudal, you're going to be fighting against Sipahi. Now, when he activates that triumph, he will be killing everything on the way. But the moment that expires, the Sipahi will mow everything down. So what is Wam01's plan?
Wam01 is thinking about making sure that this is not going to be an extended fight. He wants to kill him with the right timing and doesn't want to let Ottoman start stacking. Because we know how Ottoman can spiral out of control so easy. Now, I fixed the sound on Beastie's stream, so guys, it should be working fine for you now. But of course, with the Spearmen coming out, you still have to get Byzantines to respond. And Byzantines, they like being greedy. They don't want to make something that's suboptimal, but Ottoman, it kind of forces it out of you.
Yeah, and Otto chat, pretty fast age up too. He's not going to be far behind. Now, Wam, both Wam and Puppypaw, but I would say Wam more so. He loves going for fast castle Byzantine. Oh, he is going for Grand Winery. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's interesting. He saw that there's no barracks. Let me see this. So he fully expected a barracks, but then he didn't even scout for it. You can see he kind of went like this around the map. And when he saw that it's just military school, he stops gathering them berries. And now he's trying to transition into a weird, normal Byzantine build. And he even made the Spanish brother house right next to the Grand Winery. So he's got a bit of a scuffed opening, but I think he's trying to transition into like a normal Byzantine style, which I actually think is good decision. I think going Hippodrome here would kind of be a bit of a waste.
Now, getting Wham to at least to just get a few cisterns up, it's going to feel pretty nice. I mean, it responds well to what Ottomans does. And Ottomans also likes to use the time they pick. Now, with Wham not having a single drop of gold, this is not going to be something where he actually benefits from any upgrades, etc. But oh my goodness, every single time I see the Spanish brothers placing a building, I get triggered. But Wham, he's joining the ranks of the Spaniards. Already just making sure that we get to watch every building interfere with a peaceful little safe farming situation that he might have there in the future. But Spearman is going to be taught a lesson. Scout on Spearman action happening right now. Disgusting. But the Spearman is strong, the stick is long, and he is taking a pretty good fight.
God, that was close. Okay, he's going to be getting it out. Which mercenary is he going to go for?
Longbows. Everyone goes for longbows, right? Yeah, there we go. Everyone goes longbows. There's only a handful of situations where I've seen people... A handful. There's been a single situation where I see people go for the javelins, and that's against knights. But even then, a lot of players still opt for the longbows. I know you're a longbow enjoyer as well.
I enjoy both. But I guess Puppy is probably just going to go Masipahi into archers after, I would imagine. So both could work. And I think longbows are generally against all the units that Ottoman can do possibly better, but of course with mech that reducing range damage, it can be pretty annoying. And this is already, like, it doesn't look like a lot, but all this idle time moving around villagers, you know, it kind of adds up. And we see Wham going for stable too, so he's going to be making some horses as well.
Now, what I'm liking is the fact that I see this time and time again. The top players idling out that TC already, putting himself one villager behind by that metric. And this is something small that keeps happening from the top players. And I love seeing this because it normalizes people. Oh, stop it! Stop it with the house! Come on, man! We're gonna get at least 2 farms in here. It's gonna be safe, but no. Wham.
He's really butchering it.
He's not playing for the late game.
He's... Yeah. Should add a blacksmith next to it.
Like right here, actually.
Yeah, I remember there was a game once where Vortex made like barracks, archer range, blacksmith around chapel, and then he aged up with cathedral right next to the chapel.
Oh god.
Like you couldn't fit 2 farms. Good times. But the berries are running out. He's going to transition to those back berries. Like I said, he is very good spawn for those berries, which is very nice for him. Now, Puppypaw has an option. Are we going to be all-inning in this kind of a very defensive Byzantine? Or are we going to think perhaps maybe fast castle, maybe adding some military schools? Not sure. Sipahi being Sipahi already. Oh, not quite. And that Mector is going to go down. Uh-oh. Puppy?
Puppypaw not paying too much attention there to all of his units, and yes, sure, he killed the villager, but at what cost? Another one going down, and the last one staying alive. But that's a pretty massive loss there for Puppypaw.
Yeah, that was very weird. Did he potentially got distracted somewhere else? But just losing mech that is already huge, but losing mech that and 2 Sipahi and 1 scout is pretty big. So... yeah, I think if you're Wham, you're super happy with that. And he's so happy, he's just going to run it down to the 3rd berry patch on his side, get a tower there, most likely get that cistern going as well. And he's got another gold there. So, yeah, I think if you're Wham, you're super happy with this game. And you lose a lot of tempo at the high level when you lose this amount of units for basically, I mean, nothing, right? And if you look at the army count, the Ottoman is the aggressor, but he only has 14 units. And I think that Wham can potentially look to actually just go fast castle here and just kind of use his units very defensively.
Now, with the 2 horse raids going on to different sides, we do see the longbows making a nice little difference as well. But, of course, with those berries being protected by the military, it doesn't feel like an easy party to be able to shut down. Now, the horsemen from Wham also starting to come into the composition. Of course, your Sipahis are still the best unit in the game, but it does feel nice to have that as an option and start to be able to raid your opponent. And now we're looking at a bush as I need to control the second computer as well.
Yeah, and we do see some horseman action happening. He's just kind of using them to poke around while holding the Limitane longbow back in his base. He's going to probably add a couple of farms here and there. So, yeah, like I said, he's a pretty happy camper right now. The other side, Puppypaw is now on the deer, and he looks to just keep producing units. He is getting plus ranged armor. And, oh, yo. Was that one worker going down? Okay.
Yeah. We didn't miss it, don't worry. It was on the second observer.
I missed it.
Yeah, it's okay.
But then I'm old, so
Yeah.
it happens. So yeah, he's got imams to heal up, and I think Wham is either on 4 or 5 cisterns. So he is doing pretty well. Let's see what's happening here. Some horsemen trying to do some raiding, and If I was a betting man, this looks to me like a 4-1. Obviously, with Ottoman, it is never over until it's over, but very good start. We see third military school, which usually says, you know what, I do want to get a lot of the units and I want to keep producing in that feudal age. And he gets another stable. So, okay, so now we know. He's definitely going for it. He got +1 ranged armor. He's getting +1 ranged attack. No wheelbarrow, no horticulture. And he's just going to be going for it. And now Wham has 6 on gold. So he's probably going to be getting his upgrades very, very soon. He needs those longbow upgrades to make them super, super good. And yeah.
The problem is just you have to ask yourself, what does the food transition look like? And right now he's got a few farms set up. Love that for him. And there is only going to be space for a few, unfortunately. But it went on gold pretty late. So with going for gold now, you can see him now getting horticulture as well. But this feels like a little bit of a slow transition into castle, a responsible transition into castle, as he's not queuing up any more units, but he is at least getting that outpost in place. With the raids happening from all around, as we see pinging happening, we do see a very aggressive army pushing forward. And it looks like a Sipahi will need to be taught a lesson, but the horse is running by. Are they going to turn around? They don't. But Sipahi will live another day, go home, and heal up back with those imams.
Ooh, some Sipahi. Okay, he gets 2 horsemen there. And gets away with Sipahi. And that's very nice, you know. He's gonna, like you said, he's just gonna heal him up if he connects him to his main army. +1 range armor from Wham coming in hot. Probably +1 attack right after. There it is. And now, once he's gotten... He's getting the wheelbarrow, horticulture, double broadaxe, and military upgrades. Now he's probably gonna... If he continues mining gold, that's gonna be for the castle. So... Still producing Limitane here and there. I think he also noticed that Puppypaw is committing to this. Like, it's not just a little bit of a poke into age up. But now we see Mareka. 1,000 food for Puppypaw.
And Puppypaw, that doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like a situation where he just can't get enough wood to spend on those Sapahis. But he's telling us this again and again. He's not planning on going castle. He's got 55 gold in the bank. He's not planning on mining a single bit just yet. He wants to fight this. But with 20 longbows, you already have a pretty significant army. The Limitane, they are going to need to provide that front line. And Sapahis step very far forward.
This is going to become a game of micro, but 20 longbows is... If this count gets reset, the imams get picked off immediately. That's a big, big mistake. The Mechter, oh my god, the Mechter in the front is chilling, and Puppypaw's army suddenly looks very, very tiny after those longbows getting a couple of pickoffs right at the start.
Wham kind of looking like a demon here. I don't know if there's anything that Puppypaw can pull out to actually put him back here. Mechter goes down, and it just looks like the Sipahi mass, they're going to be next. The longbows doing work at the same time. The horsemen, if they're from Wham, just cleaning up everything. And it's going to be a 4-1 for Wham to go straight into our next, our tournament, our live event. Damn.
Wow, Wham 4-1.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you.
That was beautiful, Beasty. I love that for you. You're a comedian at heart.
Thank you. A sit-down comedian.
Yeah, of course. Now, the thing about this is Wham now getting a spot in the Homestead Cup already. That feels pretty good. Puppypaw, he's still got a fight he has to fight, and that will be our final set for the day as well. So this one actually went pretty quickly. I was very surprised that they made it such a nice fast win for us. But Wham looking good for Wololo as well, and thinking that he's the one playing at Wololo. So definitely doesn't feel too shabby already. If I'm Marine Lord, I'm watching this and I'm a little bit spooked. Are you just not saying anything?
Oh, I thought you were gonna...
No. I'm just fixing things up for the stream.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were
Yeah,
just,
so...
being nice and awkward.
No. I thought that we're gonna hit it off to the interview straight away.
We are about to do so, but you can say something if you have any comments before we do.
But yeah, pretty good win. Now Wham did play against MSN already, so now it's his brother's turn to play against MSN. So we'll see how that goes.
So, Mr. Wham, can you hear me clearly? Okay, great. So, I made it nice and loud so Beastie can hear you too and ask questions. So Wham, looking at this performance, I know you qualified for Wallalaw. Puppypaw did not make that cut. You guys have been practicing together a lot for it, right?
Yeah, I've been practicing quite a bit with Maroonworld, some other players as well. Puppypaw, I've been a little bit, but not as much. So you're probably like he's not as prepared for these tournaments, right? Which makes sense. He wasn't qualified, so and he's busy.
People with jobs, man. Come on, we're all playing AoE. But
Yeah.
with him going into the next match, do you feel like MSN is looking strong enough to give him a go?
I mean, it's possible. Like anything is possible. I think, like, it's a tough question because like I'm a big Puppypaw fan, so I don't want to say yes, but I don't want to say no. But I believe in Puppypaw.
The pause, the law. I remember when I was watching AoE back in the early days when you guys just joined the scene. I remember watching Puppypaw and I'm like, whoa, this guy's up and coming. So I'm a huge Puppypaw fan myself, but at the same time, MSN, he's young blood, but he's showing us a lot of promise. But anyway, for you going into the Homestead Cup preparation, do you think it's going to look any different for you going into your Wallalaw preparation?
A little bit different. I mean, I'm gonna have more practice partners for Homestead. Initially, I wasn't planning on playing Homestead, but I kind of decided to, obviously, and I'm happy that I did. It's just I wanted to take a break from competitive gaming, so I was a lot more. I wasn't really planning as practicing as much, to be honest, but we'll see how that goes. Honestly, I'm not sure at this point.
I wanted to ask you a question about the Mongol Golden Horde game. Have you played that matchup before?
No, I haven't played that matchup,
Okay.
and that's an interesting matchup. It's kind of wacky, actually.
Yeah, so I mentioned on the cast it's a very uncommon one, and I was like, I wonder if they even played the matchup because I've only seen it once, or I played it only once, and it's just a weird matchup all around to kind of get into it. It kind of turns into a mirror match in the end, but it's a bit all over the place. But yeah, you managed to pull it back and get the win.
Do you have any questions about that Deli matchup that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so what about the Deli Macedonian? What is the Deli's chance to win that matchup?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think Deli definitely struggles in that matchup.
Yeah.
Macedonians just has so many options. Like they can go like a kind of a fast castle. They can play feudal age. Like their horsemen are very strong. So I was pretty happy when I got that matchup, and I think Puppypaw played pretty good. It's just, yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest, to give you an answer to your question.
An overpowered Civ question. The most OP Civ is?
Most OP Civ? I think the balance is, well, I think the balance is pretty decent at this point. So
No, stop. No, stop.
You don't think so? Hmm.
I mean, I think there's one above the rest.
I think you're probably going to say Sengoku, but I don't know. I think Sengoku struggles in some matchups in particular.
Okay.
Like which one?
Which ones? I mean...
Dude, that's TMI.
I mean, I think Sengoku is really good, don't get me wrong, and I think they're very good on certain maps in particular, like very open maps where Cav will really dominate. I would say like Byzantines is maybe not the greatest for them, just because like Sengoku's a little bit slow in the early game, I think, and Byzantine struggles against really fast early game civs like French or Mongols or. So I'd say Byzantines if I had to say.
Take notes. So when you prepare.
No, I'm banning that. I have no faith in myself.
All right. Well, congratulations. I look forward to seeing you here in Serbia. And yeah, you get to. I think you've experienced a lot of First World Europe, but this is going to be proper Slavic Europe. It is a whole different experience. It's not the standard Copenhagen one. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Thanks so much.
All right. We'll talk soon. Well, bye and thank you. All right, guys. And that is going to be it for now, as we will take a short break. And we will be right back as Puppypaw and MSN are doing their drafts. We already see Sengoku banned both ways. So,
What I got from that is Byzantine's broken. That was a very sneaky way to tell me that Byzantine is OP.